Adam, my man, appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you,
It's
bro.
obviously your last name stands out. Like so the coaching program we're running is Power.
Yeah.
So that was the number one reason for
It's on your
wanted
t-shirt
you
there,
on.
man.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Like first thing first, we work with a lot of sales professionals, high performing individuals or people that want to become high performing individuals. So in your opinion, in your mind, what is a high performing man? Like, what does that mean to you?
So, good question. So I think what a high-performing man is a man with clarity and purpose. So if you have a clear vision on your purpose, and because like I think there's so many opportunities, so much noise in today's world that you can kind of bounce around. You can make a lot of money here, or I can do different things here. But it's a high performance person is someone who has unlimited energy, and that comes from desire. Your desire will come from your purpose, and your purpose will come from clarity. So if you have all those things in line, I think you can just be a high performer every single time.
Yeah, because you will just shoot for like whatever direction you're going in.
You don't need to motivate Cristiano Ronaldo to play football. You don't need to motivate a high performer like that to do his craft, because he's in his lane. He knows that that's his thing. And if you're a high performer, man, if you're not a high performer, you should audit yourself and say you're in the wrong lane.
Yeah,
because you don't need motivation or to rely on willpower to be in the right lane. So high performer man is a man with clarity on his purpose, and someone who's in the right vehicle that has unlimited energy.
I love that. I love that answer, because it's like we're so different. All of us are so different, which is great, But like, there's so many different ways to get to X.
Yeah.
So that really just opens up for like you just need to figure out your thing.
Yeah.
And you can shoot for that.
Yep, absolutely.
Love that. So obviously you're from Ireland. We can hear that in the accent. I've had lots of Irish friends over the years, so
Yeah.
do like that. Your story and your background sort of thing. What made you shift from being in Ireland, doing what you do for work there, and like just tell me about like what's that backstory looking like in a short sentence sort of.
So I was that typical guy in school where it was like everything was just wrong. I was late every day. I was always in trouble. I always had, in my school you had like these traffic light system report cards. If you have one, it means like you're on the brink of being like kicked out of school. And I always walked around the place with these little things. So I was just always just bad in school, man. But I don't have a bad bone in my body. I don't have any badness in me whatsoever. I was just, like I said, in the wrong vehicle. So I was just so uninterested for the whole entire part of school, and that led into my first, I suppose, section of my professional life and my career. So I kind of bounced around between I tried a couple of college courses and got rejected because I failed my high school so bad. Secondly, I tried electrician, and that was the worst period of my life. I was miserable. I mean, miserable. I used to like brush my teeth in the morning. I always tell the story of like tears dripping off while I brush my teeth going to work in the morning. Wow. It was a horrible time, man. Wow. Horrible time. I literally used to cry in the morning time, like not physically cry, but like be so unhappy in my life at that particular time that I used to just like, I used to be so, it was such a bad time, such a bad time. Then I went into a couple of factories, drove a forklift for a little bit. Then I got one okay job. My okay job was in a medical device factory, basically producing like on the production area to produce medical equipment for hospitals globally. So it was a good job. I was, able to get like a permanent contract, all the benefits, half day on a Friday, and it was great for a year. On 11 days before I got my permanent contract, I got brought into the back, and a determination of employment letter was on the table. I said, what the fuck is this? So they said that there was a couple of mistakes in the production line. It crossed paths with 3 or 4 of us. The other 3 people there were there 20 plus years. We can't actually fire them. We have to prove to the hospitals or whatever that there is someone being cut from the company due to a mistake. It's you. So I had to go. So that was devastating. Bounced around a couple of jobs, and when I got fired for the next time, I came home and I jumped onto YouTube, and I was like, okay, I'm after listing out every single employment position that exists in Ireland and failing. Okay, anything I can think of. So couldn't do college or the corporate route. Couldn't do the building or the apprenticeship or the tradesman route. Couldn't do any factory work. Literally, there was nothing left. So I run how to start my own job, and Ty Lopez came up, how to create your own job, how to get paid from home. And he kind of brought me through this 90-minute webinar about how I can do my own thing. And I was like, that never entered my mind. No one in my family has ever had a business. I never spoke to anybody who had a business. I never even like crossed paths with anybody.
How old were you there?
21.
21, yeah.
I never even crossed paths with anybody who made over 6 figures in my lifetime. Yeah. I never like even saw wealth or anything like that before. So essentially I clicked Ty's program and he said you can create your own job, and I was like, I have no other option. I can't get employed. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? So I got the last paycheck from previously when I got fired, jumped into that program and just got to work from there. So from there I was able to realize that I'm not stupid. I have a really, really strong work ethic. Yeah. I'm really passionate. I want to help people. I want to be valuable. I have a purpose. I have developed clarity. I can develop a high performance work mentality and work ethic, and I can really deliver something to the world. So from those failures, I ended up there, and I suppose just kept progressing from there. So yeah, that's essentially
interesting. Yeah. Well, it kind of like, leads me into, because I think a lot of people is, doing what you're doing or did do, they don't know, like, where am I fitting in? Like, what should I do? And that sort of thing. So, was it literally just like the pain of like, I don't fit in anywhere, I can't get a job, or like, you're like, I'm meant for more. Like, I need to try to do something different. Yeah. What was that?
So to be honest, I just didn't know. It was just at that exactly, what you said there. But at the time, it was just frustration. So I just didn't actually know, like, what the hell am I doing? And I had potential. I knew I was smart. I knew whenever I put my mind even 50% towards something, I can be the best at it. So anytime a project came in school or anytime a sporting event came, if I actually put an effort, I could achieve whatever I needed to achieve. So I knew there was something there, and I always kind of did say in the back of my mind, something's going to come. And then when I did see Ty Lopez's webinar, I was in the back of my mind, bells were going off to be like, could this be the something I'm speaking of about for 10 years? So I suppose it was all frustration, and I knew that something was there. And then I kind of realized that you can start attracting what you need to attract for the opportunity to flourish. And I started to think, like, I can control my own life. I started to question everything. I was like, is this true? Is this not true? Because previously I was just, whatever came into my mind, I just believed and accepted. But then after, I suppose, trying to get ahead, I was kind of like questioning everything. And the world is not black and white. It's grey, and it flipped upside down and went from there, Yeah. So,
were you like, what would you say? Because I think a lot of people are like, I jump into the internet, I figure out a way I can make money online. Like, that's a huge thing today. Yeah. Were you tech savage, or like, hey, I can nail this computer thing, or like, were you just straight?
No, I'm still not tech savvy.
Yeah.
I'm not. People think I'm a lot of my friends and stuff like that think I'm like some tech,
what is that?
Some tech guru or something. No, I'm still not tech savvy. I'm not at all. I'm just able to set my mind at a target and just get my subconscious working to move to that target. That's all I know.
Yeah. So that you would say, like, from you clicking on that ad to that thing, I think a lot of people do that today, and they download something to get something, and they don't use it. Like, they don't actually, like, that. It's exactly like you're saying, like, could this be the thing? Yeah. And they've done that 100 times. Yeah. So why do you think that thing was, like, how did you make it work? Was it just work ethic? And
it was like there was no, like, for me it was like it really was. I think I was always been like a really deep in thought guy. Like, I'm always deep in thought anyway. But I spent like probably 3 or 4 months just thinking about this thing. That is like, what is this? This is a fork in the road of my life, and this was like, I get to live in Dubai, do all these things. I get to travel the world, love my life, wake up every morning and just like pray, thank you so much for everything that has come away. Or I bounce around from factories, I bounce around from different jobs, and I cry every morning when I wake up. And I could see myself like just going down this deconstructive path here, and I could think the most beautiful existence that I can imagine here. So my life, it was really, really, it was a fork in the road for me. And this one particular thing don't know what it was. It just hit me and said, okay, this is it, and this is what's able to. This has changed like my life. My kids are gonna, my generations ahead of me are going to have a different life from me committing to this thing.
Yeah.
My siblings and family all have, like, you know, it's inspiration that's spread far and wide, because no one in my family has ever done anything like that. Anybody I know in Ireland has ever, you know, been able to build, you know, businesses and companies and grow, which is just down to work ethic and having that black and white approach that it's the fork in the road. So my life was in the fork in the road, man, and I just thought about it so much that I have to make this happen. Like there is no, I cannot go back to tears coming out my face in the morning when I'm brushing my teeth, jumping into a van, -3 degrees, freezing cold, hanging up lights on a house or construction site or whatever. I can't go back to that. I can't be miserable for my life. And it wasn't even about me. It's not like, I don't want my mother to know that her son is miserable. I don't want my father to be like, my son isn't happy. I don't want my siblings to look up at their older brother and say, my brother hates his fucking life. Like, I want them to see, like, I want to have a much bigger and deeper vision than just that. So that's what made me lock in, man, and make it work.
Yes, obviously what I hear you saying, I'm fully aware of that as well, because that is really how we move. You either move away from pain or towards pleasure, you know. So obviously you use the pain aspect as I'm going to be miserable, I'm going to hate my life. And I think, you know, just observing the world, I think that is probably the challenge for most people. It's like, I'm okay. That's like 95% of people. And they stay there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. They just stay there, man. And you can just do better. And I actually have I use Notion for like my task planning, and underneath it says like Adam's dashboard. Underneath that is like the main area of happiness in life is progression and fulfillment. So like if you're just getting 1% better, it's just ultimate fulfillment and happiness.
So obviously going from the tie and creating what you've been creating right now, and I would love to talk with you about like what are you actually doing right now, but how do you see personally development, Adam developing himself to his business success versus just learning skills, running ads, blah, blah, blah. Like what is personal development to do with business success?
So again, some people say mindset is everything, and then some people say like, oh, don't worry about the mindset, just pick up the laptop and get to work. So it's auditing yourself. For me, mindset was everything, because I never saw success in business anywhere before. Like I never, in Ireland it's not really a thing. Like it's very much like, my business was, when I launched my business back in 2017 2018, the first like 9 to 12 months was nobody knew about it, bar my mother and bar like one or two of my friends, my neighbors or whatever, and they didn't understand it was like, Adam's doing this online thing. But for me it was locking into the vision and just ensuring that like I am getting better personally myself, so that I deserve the thing that I'm trying to achieve. So for example, if I had to do it for the first year, like I said, I had to do so much work on myself to showcase that I'm deserving of the thing and believe that I can get it, because there's an old quote that says, you create the belief and the belief creates the fact of your goal. So I had to create the belief, because I knew if I believed I could do it, I could do it, and if I believed I couldn't do it, I wouldn't do it. So I did first do so much personal development in my life, and I still do every single day, to be able to deal and be able to have the, you know, to be able to say, yeah, I deserve that, I deserve this opportunity, I deserve that, I'm working on making it happen more than anybody else, so I deserve it. So yeah, kind of personal development is
a huge thing,
a huge thing for me.
And how has that sort of like evolved right now as you're doing more and more? Because, you know, me the same, you know, you start with some Tony Robbins and you start with, you know, some courses and that sort of thing. So how does that look like for you right now, like personal development? Are you looking for one specific thing? Like, how are you implementing like personal development now where you're at?
So what I do with personal development is I just kind of like, I try to go sniper mode on personal development. Okay, what am I struggling with right now? What's my bottleneck right now? What can I really, you know, achieve right now? And I suppose it's just asking people, figuring out, going on YouTube, what's that book, what's that program, who's that mentor that I need for that specific area and that specific thing. And I just get that book and I just study that for 30 days, you know. And I just go from there. So I just essentially, like, I hang around with, all my friends are, you know, a lot ahead of me. Most of my network is way ahead of where I am. So they really help me. They say, I read this book, and I'd say, what's that book about? They say, this book helped me with this. And while they're finishing the sentence, I have the book ordered, you know, and it's, I read that over the next 2 weeks, and that will help me, you know, get 1% better over the next 2 weeks. So
how do you read a book and then implement? Like, what's your strategy for, as you said, like, this is the topic, and then you consume it, and then you figure out certain things. Like, how do you actually apply this information from books? I think it's a big one for people.
So a lot of the books I read are about how you think. So, like, thinking is like, that's the like, thinking is the most capable, the highest capability of a human being is thinking. And it's something that there's nowhere in the world that will help you, show you how to think, unless you find it. There's no thinking in school. There's nothing that even exercises any of your mental faculties in school. So you have to, just like you're exercising your biceps, you need to exercise your mind just as much. So essentially, man, I'll figure out and I'll learn how to bring that thinking. I'll download what that thinking is. You know, I'll download what that way of looking at things, that perception, bring that into my mind, and have that as my personal development. Then if there's any business development books, whether it's a structure, whether it's a recruitment, whether it's a process, whether it's Russell Brunson on a marketing effort, it's downloading that into the business then. So I kind of have two different things, and I have two goals. Number one is personal, and then 1 or 2 is professional. So everything I'm reading or study has to download into one of them.
And you simply just, like, you read it and you keep a log on everything. You note it out, and then afterwards you go over it, filter, and be like, okay, let's do this. Let's try to do that in a different way.
So what I do is I read off a Kindle.
Yeah.
So on a Kindle, I highlight all the notes, and then the notes are all saved to a different folder. So I can go back into a book and I can just click notes, and I can just scan over all the highlights I made in that book. Yeah. So that's what I do.
I'm gonna get myself a Kindle.
Best
especially Alex Moses' book. They're so big now. I'm like, I can't sit with them.
Yeah. The best investment you'll ever make, man. I love my Kindle. I read it every single day.
I see you do your iPad as well. I just got from my mom in Christmas present. It's called Remarkable. So it's a You know them?
Yeah.
Notepad. Fucking love them.
Meant to be amazing.
Amazing. So obviously you've done a bit of work with Bob Proctor. I remember you talked about that at a mastermind sort of thing. You're in his mastermind, or have been in his mastermind?
Yeah, I still am,
Yeah. What would you say is, because he's kind of like a godfather of everything in regards to that, what are the key things that's changed for you in your life since joining that, and what are the key lessons that kind of like stand out for you in regards to the work you've done in that mastermind?
So so many things, right? And there's so many infinite levels of this, but the main, I suppose there's a couple of main things that I've developed from Bob Proctor. Number one is setting goals, and it's not setting a goal to get. I don't want to say I want a Lamborghini, right? I'm not setting, my goal is not to get a Lamborghini. My goal is to become the person that deserves a Lamborghini, because if I'm able to buy a Lamborghini, I'm also able to buy my mother a new house. I'm also able to buy my father whatever he wants, right? So it's the goal setting is number one, and there's 3 types of goal setting: A, B, C. A is a goal that you've already done. So if I say right now, my goal is to go for a holiday in London, right? I've been to London for a holiday. It's not a goal, right? I'm going sideways. No, B is my next goal, which is like 10 or 20% growth, which is if this happens, if that happens, you know, if by chance or by luck this other thing happens, then I might hit my goal B. And there's tiny minuscule growth with that. But goals, your C goal is, what's your fantasy and your vision? You don't need to remove the how, remove the whatever, right? You don't need to know, you don't need to connect the dots yet. You need to get to that, and then you need to work on yourself and figure out ways and tell yourself it's happening, and start to keep your mind open for opportunities, and start to network and meet people and start thinking differently in order to get there. And when you're getting to your C goal, you become, that's how you grow personally. That's how you personal growth. It's not the goal, the personal growth comes from that. So while I'm setting goals that are way bigger and better than what anything I've ever imagined, which was like being in Dubai and doing all the things I'm doing. That has come from me growing as a person and setting those goals. Number 2 is the knowing and doing gap from Bob, and the knowing and doing gap is we all have these subconscious gaps in our mind. Example, everybody knows how to get abs. Everyone knows how to get a six-pack, okay? You do lots of cardio in a deficit, you train your core, okay? But like less than 1% of the population have abs, right? So there's a knowing and doing gap, and Bob teaches you how to analyze your brain to figure out what your gaps are. And this is all subconscious. Like, you don't know we have these gaps. Like, so we close those gaps. And number 3 is the self-image. And the self-image is the person who you are and the person who you want to become. And all that combined together is just like, it's like, again, like I said, sniper focused. And that sniper focus helps you to basically achieve whatever you want to achieve, you know. Example, when I first started it, like my C goal was, for example, like 10 grand a month or whatever, which from like say 5 clients. That was your vision,
like that was the.
And when I wrote that down on a piece of paper, man, like, wow. I was like, there's no way in hell that is ever going to happen. Yeah. Like that, it's just, I'm wasting my time writing this on a biro right now. Bob Proctor's a scammer. It's all fake. It's all fake, right? But then it started to move towards it, and I started thinking and finding opportunities, and eventually it happened. So it's constantly just, you know, pushing it forward. So that different level of thinking was able to get me ahead. And Bob Proctor, he's just everything he says is just resonates with me, you know.
Yeah. So what are you afraid of now? Like, what is your like phase of like, I need to remove that bottleneck or that limiting belief or that self-image or whatever? Like, what is your thing right now to get to the next level?
The book I'm reading right now, which is a reread, is Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. I don't know if you know that book, but I was on a yacht about 2 weeks ago for a dinner. A wealth management company invited a bunch of people in Dubai onto a yacht. And we were like, there was champagne, I wasn't drinking, but we were having like caviar and like amazing food. And in the whole time, there was like a tennis match in my head. I couldn't focus I couldn't speak to people. I couldn't network because the back of my mind was like, oh, you don't deserve to be here. This is not you. You know, you don't come from this. These are all like, you know, Premier League football managers. There was like, you know, crypto billionaires there. There was like mega wealthy people. And I was not, for me to be sitting there, it felt so off. And I knew that my image of who I'm becoming was not caught up with me mentally yet. Yeah. So I wasn't there. So that my gap is there now. Yeah. I need to now work on myself so much over the next 12 months to say, I deserve to be on that yacht. Yeah. I deserve to do business with these people. I deserve to be in this conversation where I can be cut into this, you know, mega $1 million deal, and I can be networking with these people, and I deserve to be there. So that's something that's a big thing for me right now. And I've really leveled up my network, and they're so far ahead of me in business. Like, I'm talking like, you know, 5 to 10x ahead of me, which is great for me. I'm learning so much, but the image of what I have of myself is not there, and I feel like I can self-sabotage from that, and that's something that I'm trying to close that gap right now. So interesting. That's my current thing at the minute.
Yeah. To be honest, it's very similar for myself. I don't know if it's a common thing for a lot of entrepreneurs. It's like, you know, you're pushing into new areas and you don't feel like you belong.
Yeah.
Because I've seen your network and that sort of thing. It's impressive how you're putting yourself out there. And I think a lot of people, they look at somebody that's doing great, but they don't understand what goes on in their mind. Like, you might be shit scared. You might be fucking hell.
I'm shit scared every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you mentally go through that? Because like, we could almost, like, as you said, you self-sabotage yourself. You're like, should I go there tonight? You're like, oh fuck, nah, it's been a long week. I'm tired. I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah.
Do you catch yourself and be like, you need to go because you're afraid of this?
Yeah. So I always go back to that fork in the road. You know, like, because during that, like, say, that period of my life where I was, if I don't proceed, if I go left, I have this life of misery where I'm super unhappy. You know, I'm never going to find a woman that I want to have kids with. I'm never going to be able to live in the house I want to live in. And now, when I go this way, I can achieve that. So I always go back to that time, and then that gives me, because I have that clarity, like, that becomes a superpower for me, because that is such a burning desire that I have, and desire creates energy. So like, if you're working towards something that you like. It's your sea goal, like Bob says, your ultimate thing that you just like, this is my life's purpose. You can survive off 4 hours of sleep for weeks because your energy is being fueled by your desire. So when I don't want to do something, I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted today, I don't want to do that, I've been working all week, whatever. I just go back to me 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and I say, this is everything that I've wanted. This is everything that I used to, for a whole year, going to bed every night, I used to drop down on my knees and pray, like, please God, let me get this, let me get ahead here, let me get a win here, let me get something here. I promise if I'm able to get ahead, I'm going to give back for the rest of my life if I'm able to make this happen for me personally. So I just say, I jump in and I'm like, I'm going to make this absolutely happen right now. And then I go in and I'm able to find a desire which creates the energy for me to go there and achieve it.
So I guess like your seagull like constantly moves, or kind of moves, like in seasons.
It's always going, but I just look back at my first ever sea goal, and it's like, because I'm after surpassing that so much, I look back and I say, it's selfish of me to keep progressing that, because that was my, like, what I prayed for so long. So
interesting. I love this conversation because it's, it's perspective. And I was actually watching a video from Ty Lopez. He was over here for an event not long ago. And it just popped up on YouTube. I think it was 2 days ago. And he says, when you go through shit, stay social. I don't know if you saw that. He's like, and he spoke from isolation
is the killer or something like that. I saw
because he said you amplify, everything is being amplified when you're sitting with yourself in your mind. So it's always great to have these conversations. Now, shifting gear over to obviously doing what you're doing today, power media and that sort of thing. So I know you're coming from the e-com space and that sort of thing, but like, what is power media, and like, why do you feel like you're different from, the 1,000 other agencies that's out there? Like, I assume, you make your clients a lot of money, so they're happy they come again. But what would you say is sort of like your secret sauce or your approach to online marketing like that?
So my secret sauce is the sea goal. So even though I'm doing that for myself, I also do that for my clients as well. Like, I also do that, and I think a lot of my clients, like, their feedback to me is like, oh, I just, like, it's great working with Adam. He pushes it, like, he motivates me. He really believes that, this is that we're going ahead. And they come to me and be like, I want to make $250,000 a month. I'm like, let's make 400. Let's double that. Like, let's double it and fall short. We might do 380. But look at the difference between doing 380 and doing 250K a month. Like, it's a massive leap in the right direction. And the systems then, whatever we develop, gets us years ahead and takes over more market share. So I do think that clients really admire that approach that I have. And it's just go. Like, I'm no bullshit. I'm just like, for me, it's all black and white. It's just black and white. Like, for me, the clients will say, oh, look, our reporting was very generic last month, or like, I didn't really like the report, but my sales are up 22%, so it's fine. And it's because, like, it's black and white. We'll grow your revenue in regards to that. And it's like, if you're looking to protect all these other things, which is totally fine, we will work with you, but our 99% of our efforts go into achieving a black and white goal, which is growing your market share and growing your numbers. And it's all numbers. Obviously we do have to protect the brand. Like, you don't want to take on a brand that's premium and say it's 90% off everything, right, if we're going to make sales. But we don't want to even have offers. We want to grow within the profitability scale. We want to grow as much as we possibly can while keeping the brand there. So that's it. In regards to how we do that, we leverage the whole internet basically in regards to paid traffic and retention services in regards to lifetime value. So it's pretty much bringing that mindset to my clients and to my team, and then we're able to really progress. And I what I try to do is kind of something that I never actually said this, but what I call it is a spark. I try to, like, put a spark in people. I try to say, we're going to go 20% better than what we were aiming for, or we're going to go way higher, and that's a C goal. So I was trying to bring that, like, spark, and I think that energy is what business owners need from a team, from an outsourced agency.
Because it's like, we're in the coaching space. It's like, we talk with people, we encourage and we motivate people every single day. And I think, like, people are just not used to hearing that. Like, they're used to just going through life, and they don't even hear it from their wife or anything. Like, so when we can, from a business perspective, encourage people on their dreams,
Yeah.
I think that's a huge one.
Yeah.
So are you doing, like only the ad service? Or are you doing, from offer to, obviously the ads to the back end, you said with sales and optimization, lifetime, value and that sort of, like,
Yeah.
do you do the whole sweep?
Yeah, so we do two things. We do an agency offer and we do an orchestrated revenue partner offer. So with the agency offer, we come in, we do all your paid traffic across the internet. We do all your copywriting, your retention services, and around your creative. Number two, what we do is an orchestrated revenue partnership, which what that is that we orchestrate everything. So we'll have like everything aligned. We'll have all your softwares, all your apps, everything connected. We'll have like make sure your website's fully optimized. We'll be looking after all of your offer.
Yeah.
We'll be looking after the client's offer. We'll be testing different landing pages. We'll be looking at all your CRO, your creative, like I said, your offer, your UGC partnerships, what platforms you're looking at, your organic approach, your competitor research, your indirect competitor analysis, like everything across the brand that's orchestrated to grow. And it's sort of just kind of, we've two offers right now, the orchestrated revenue partnership and also the just the agency paid traffic offer. So with both, they both works well. If and then when a client in the agency offer gets past a certain figure, we bring them over to the orchestrated revenue partnership.
And what's the revenue cap for that? Like, what would, like, do you work with people that are starting from scratch?
No. Like, you need, like, I wouldn't take a call with someone doing sub 50k a month, unless I saw like they're doing amazing work without everything not in place. But then it's usually around 100k a month in USD. That's super profitable in order for us to come in and
scale from there. Yeah. So what would you say to, like, if you had to do it again, let's say you weren't in, doing what you're doing and you had to kind of like start over yourself, or you would advise a entrepreneur, maybe, selling a service-based business sort of thing, or a consultant. And they're doing great right now. They've had their first 20, 30 clients and that sort of thing. What would you do to, like, put fuel on the fire? Like, let's say it's ads, but like, what would you do to simplify that approach? And then what would you do, as you say, past maybe 50k a month? Like, what would be your mindset that you would deploy into that person?
So I would straight away look for leverage. So where's the leverage coming from? What's the 80-20 rule? There's always going to be an 80-20 rule in regards to whether it's your clientele, whether it's your acquisition, whether it's your brand growth or your market share. Where's that leverage? And then try leverage that even more, and do a full audit in regards to, okay, like, you're not really profiting over here on this part of the business, or this offer is not doing as well as this one, so let's go all in on this one. And this client acquisition tool or this client acquisition process is working way better than this one. Let's either automate this and hand it off to a team member, or let's go all in on this one. So we're going all in on here. We're testing new areas of growth. We're improving. We're researching like softwares and stuff like that. Like, people should be going on like high level. People should be going on there to get everything automated under one roof, which is like it's like a service based business, one stop shop for funnels, landing pages, CRMs, workflows, onboarding, etc. People need to be leveraging these type of things and finding leverage within their business so that they can, I suppose, get a hockey stick growth in that area of leverage, and use that 80-20 principle to figure out where that is, and then scale the 20% and start cutting the 80%.
Right. So you would go straight into like a guy that's, like you would go straight into paid acquisition and then scale from there. You don't see there's any other ways around?
For a coach, is it?
Yeah, for like service-based entrepreneur or consultant, or like, I think a lot of people are a little bit worried about the whole paid side, but like, if you're as an entrepreneur in that space, what would you tell them to, like, not be afraid, and this is how you grow?
Well, you can't be afraid anyway.
No.
If you want to grow, you can't be afraid. But I would like educate someone on what fear is. Like, so fear, again, I can do a whole podcast on fear, but like, fear is just like breaking through that terror barrier. So like, your goals are here, your fear is here. So if you trample your fear, you get to your goals. So remove the fear, and then when you fearlessly approach something, the way is there. Also, when you decide. So when you decide in an instant like that, you will decide, and that's when you can kind of like get there. So I would tell the person, okay, what's the goal? And if they tell, the goal is, I'm at 50k now, the goal is 60k. I say, okay, why? Okay, and they would say, "Oh, I just want that." Another, I was like, "Okay, it's not going to do anything. Your business is not going to grow. You can achieve that by just keep doing what you're doing right now.
Increase a little bit,
increase a little bit. So, okay, you're at 50K right now. Let's look at 150K a month. Okay, what's the processes that we have to start building now, so that in 12 to 18 months we can be at that platform? How did you acquire this 50K a month in business? Let's really review all that, and now let's implement new areas. That can be LinkedIn, it can be leveraging new platforms, it can be joining countless networking events, it can be going to London, it can be going to Dubai, it can be going to all these other places where you meet people and you figure out ways to make partnerships and leverage your community, and I suppose bring people into that community and then just get your offer out there. Create a lead magnet, get your lead magnet out to the whole entire world. Okay, gets your 7 fat loss tips out to the planet, out everywhere on the planet. Okay, spend 10 grand a month advertising, giving out something for free. Do you know, like, the law of the universe in regards to reaping what you sow? What you will get back for giving out so much value to the marketplace will come back tenfold to you. So everyone who's given out a lead magnet or an offer, when they download the offer, the thank you page is to book a call. Whatever you do, whether you're a fucking mechanic, a coach, whether you're a consultant, whether you're an e-commerce brand, whatever you're doing, get a lead magnet out there, get them to download it and book, get a familiarity with your brand, put them into an email flow, and the thank you page of when they get their free thing, have, hey, I hope you enjoy your free thing. If you ever want to speak to us anymore, or if you want to have a free consult with us, click here and we'll book in a call. There's a million different ways to go about it. Organic, paid, you just have to figure out, okay, what's for me, what's working, what's not, and how can you need to be smart in regards to, okay, for me to check if this is working, I don't need to spend 50 or 100K of my own hard-earned money to put it out into the marketplace to see if it's working. You need to have ways to go in and do your own market analysis. You need to be able to figure out ways and see what's working. Because I see so many people testing. I'm like, you can't, there has to come a period where you're scaling and not just testing. You always test, but you have to figure out, you can't just test all the time. You have to figure out what's working and look for that, as like I said, hockey stick growth from the testing results. People are just testing all the time. So you need to actually figure out, okay, what's working and how can I scale what's working and then scale what's working.
And how do you determine, like, I'm just using myself as an example. Like, I got introduced to, coaching from the back end. Actually, a guy that he used to run the back end CRM sort of thing for Ty Lopez. So he offered a coaching service. I paid him 10K.
Rudy.
His name is Mikhail.
Oh, okay, I know.
You know Mikhail, yeah. So I got introduced to the whole online space from him, like funnels and freaking, like, we created all these like low ticket offers and that sort of thing. And then now I'm sort of like back into like the basic of, messenger ads and, book a call and that sort of thing. How do you determine which strategy is the best thing and then just double down on it? And if it doesn't work, or if it stopped working, it's not the strategy. You just need to upskill or change something. Like, how do you look at that?
So you need to have a checklist in regards to, okay, what are you missing? And like I said previously, a lot of it is orchestration. Like, you can have the best offer, the best ad copy, the best creative, you can have the best fucking everything, but if it's not orchestrated correctly, it's not going to work. So you have to have everything orchestrated, and that's what so many people are banging their heads against the wall to say, my product is better than all the competitors, my price point is great, my shipping is the next day, my website's perfect, but nothing is orchestrated within the brand. And as a consumer, like, a consumer can just sniff that out. Nah, there's something off here, and bang, they're scrolling again and the next person snatches them up, right? So essentially you need to figure out, okay, I've spent, you have to test in volumes, okay? So for example, if you're saying to, if someone's coming back to say, oh, we got 50 leads and we only got 1 sign up, okay? This is not working. Okay, we lost money on this. No, that's not really correct, because there's 49 other people who showed interest in your brand. What's the back end system to get them back in?
Why are they not?
What's that system? And now, okay, also let's figure out, let's get some data back from these 50 leads, and let's optimize our offer, our campaign, our messaging, our creative and platform out to the marketplace and say, okay, how can we improve from the feedback from these 50 leads? Now let's spend 10x the money, let's get 10x the leads, and we have a much more clear indication of a system to acquire. So having that process in place where you know something worked, because if something works one time, it can work 10 times. If it worked 10 times, it can work 100 times. So if you do it 100 times, you're successful. And just basically getting it out there and getting that feedback to come in, optimize and change, and go again, and having patience with it. Patience is not really a word I like, because I know I can just say, have patience, have patience. You can say that forever, but you need to have you need to actually be patient with an efficient system. Yeah, that's out there being proven. And you need to be doing research. Yeah. Like, you need to be research. It doesn't need to be, like, you don't research the next, if you're an online coach, you don't research the next online coach who's in the gym at the same time, who's in the exact same level. Yeah. You need to go to Coca-Cola. What the fuck is Coca-Cola doing? Yeah. Coca-Cola are dominating the fucking world. What's Alex Hormozy doing? Like, what's the biggest people in the space doing? And start picking up little nuggets from them, rather than just going to someone who's over here, because their thing probably isn't really working either. Yeah. You know, and that's the problem people have. They're replicating other people's stuff that are in the exact same bracket as them. Yeah. You need to find people who are 10x ahead of where you are. Yeah. Pay them, invest all their money into that mentorship. Yeah. Okay. Invest all your money into that mentorship, read all their books, consume all their content, wake up at 6 a.m. and spend 2 hours reading everything they have, and then implement that into your own business. Yeah. And improve that. We'll
accelerate from there, yeah. We will wrap up in a second. I know you got to sort out your Wi-Fi home, you know, but what would you say, like, after you coming to Dubai now, how long have you been in Dubai for?
18 months now.
18 months, so still fairly new. What's changed from you, from physically putting yourself into a different environment and the opportunity to meet people, versus, let's say you just worked on a laptop I know you were in Marbella or something before?
I was in Marbella for 3 years, before I came here.
Yeah. Whatever other place you're in, but you're like locked in on a laptop and you work 12 hours every single day and you're fucking on Zoom and you're connecting with people, versus the offline component of putting yourself into an environment. How do you differentiate that?
I suppose, like, thinking bigger again is the thing. Like, for example, my goal in Marbella, I would have hit it over the next couple of years, just being on this trajectory. But being in Dubai, I've hit that goal in I suppose, again, more hockey stick style data growth. So being in Dubai has helped me meet people who have advised me in regards to how to improve so many different things. Being able to think bigger, like, you know, I'm like nothing in Dubai. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, I am nothing in Dubai, which is good. Some people can't face that. I love being the bottom of the barrel, so that I can constantly improve, and because it's only up if you're at the bottom. So I love being you know, in regards to people who are worth 50 and 100 million. I love being at that table where I'm just soaking it all up and learning. So yeah, I suppose being in Dubai has helped me find people, and those people have taught me how they operate, how they invest, how they look at things, and how they simplify things, how they find mentors, how they create offers, how they, you know, such small changes that add up, that compound over time, and just being around the right people, man, is massive for me.
Yeah, it's huge. Like, I've done a lot of Grant Cardone's work in the US, and like literally every single time I go to that conference, that conference is paid for like 3 times. Clients in there and people you meet and people that come back online like, hey, I want to start up something. Like, it's always happening in these environments. So what I hear you say is a lot, like, it's a lot about self-belief, the mindset, like getting perspective, and you get that by, you know, surrounding yourself with other people and putting yourself in these places.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. What's next for you now in 2024? What's the goal, and what's the aim, and what's the hockey stick thing you're shooting for?
So big thing for me right now is community. I did launch my community a year ago. About 8-9 months ago. It was completely free. Now I am moving into a paid model, which is people get like 18 to 20 mini courses. There's a call every single day in different areas. We're in a very, very engaged community. Me and myself, my team, my network, my friends, we're all answering questions. There's 2 to 3 different specific workshops every week as well. And that's something that I really, really enjoy. Like, that's kind of that's what's like fueling my desire right now. Because I just got a CEO into Powered Media, so he's basically looking after like 80% of my previous tasks. So I'm able to step back and look at things at a higher level and focus on my community. That's my main thing. I also have a brand. I also invest in brands. I have a brand called TOIG, Top of Your Game. sportswear. Recently sold out from stock in Q4. And I'm going to restock that. But because I'm the typical chase two rabbits and catch none type of guy. I do way too much, and it's something that again it's an artistic trait that I have, but it's also a very negative trait in business when you're doing too much. So
how do you change that, by the way? Like, how do you?
For me, it's yes, I'm doing too. If my goal was to create the highest net worth possible, I'm doing way too much. But Ty Lopez also talks about becoming a mad scientist, like trying everything out. Like I don't care if I have. For me, I like it's not really that. It's not really that important for me to make. Like obviously it is, but like I also don't want to live with regret either. Be like, oh, what if I didn't try this thing? What if I did try this thing? So I like having the mad scientist thing in my life, like Ty says. So yeah, when I'm speaking to a mentor and they're saying like, okay, this is your vehicle to get to X, Y, Z, and I'm saying, but I'm doing this other thing over here. You know, they're like, yeah, cut out doing that. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. It's a passion project of mine. They're saying, cut it out. They're right, but however, for me, I have to make a decision. Is it all about financial gain for me, or not? So, but look, these answers come. But yeah, so I've a clothing brand called Top of Your Game Sportswear. Sold out. I'll be restocking that in the next 30 days. I'm going to do a lot more with that this year. Community agency, and I just posted my first YouTube video.
I saw that
like 2 weeks ago. So I think I just hit like 25k views yesterday. My first video.
It's insane, bro.
Which is great. So my goal is to get like, I don't want to be a YouTuber, but I do want to create content, put out content, and build that community element. Because that's what I'm super passionate about. That's what I love to do. And like I said, when I used to be dropping to my knees every night to pray, to be like, please, like, you know, open up the next wave of opportunity. I always said, like, if this works out for me, I'll make sure it happens for 1,000 other people.
Beautiful.
So that's kind of my purpose and stuff like that. So so yeah, that's essentially the plan, man. That's what I'm working on right now. And for me, it's just I just love getting up every day. I just love going for my coffee, planning out my day, working on new things. That's me, you know.
It's a beautiful life, isn't it?
Yeah, man, life is
comes
good.
with a lot, but like
comes with a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, but yeah, it's good. Yeah, for sure.
And as I said to you before, appreciate the conversations and that sort of thing, because I think that is what, and you know that as well, like when you're hitting a roadblock or you're going through things, like talking to other people and just getting it out there, it's invaluable, you know.
I forgot the camera was on, man. These calls are refreshing. These are really good, you know. So I forgot we were even recording, but yeah, these are refreshing calls, man, and meeting good people every day is what I'm super passionate about. So
I appreciate that. So where can people find you if they want to know more about you? Instagram, YouTube, you said.
Yeah.
When's the next video coming out?
The next I'm waiting for a phone call here to let my Wi-Fi guy into my new place, but so I'm moving to a new place and I'm building a studio in there.
Amazing.
So I'm excited for that, and essentially. Instagram is where I'm quite active. Twitter as well, Adam Power 21. And like I said, YouTube. If you just write in Adam Power, I think if you write in the Nelk Boys, I'm like the second or third.
The Nelk Boys.
The Nelk Boys.
Okay.
You know the Nelk Boys, the
no,
Full
really.
Send podcast. No, you don't know that.
No.
They were
close to that.
So I done an event with them recently. They were on my yacht. My thumbnail in a video or whatever is like sponsored by their drink called Happy Dad. And so I'm popping up there because I actually don't even know my YouTube name. It's like Adam Power 6478 or something like that. So you should be able to find me there. And yeah.
Excellent. Adam, my friend, appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks so much. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.